Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. And today we are going to continue with our adding a little spice to the yoga practice with a number of bits of equipment. So today I have got an elasticated stretchy band. These come in this flat form, as I have got, but they also come as tubes with little handles. It doesn't matter whether it's that or this, or in fact anything that gives you a little bit of stretch. It could be a pair of jeggings, but you probably get more out of the practice by using one of these. And I've also got a spiky ball, but I'm going to give you an alternative to this, which you don't need any equipment for, and a couple of handheld weights. Now, handheld weights you can easily substitute for bottles of water or cans of beans or whatever else you might have in the cupboard. So it's just a little something to hold. Make sure it's comfortable to hold. And we're going to put all these bits of equipment down and just begin by sitting towards the front of our seats, resting the hands wherever they're comfortable, pressing the feet and the seat of the body down as we lift up to sit tall. Little lift across the belly muscles, perhaps gazing gently downward, or even closing the eyes if you like. Take this moment to step into your time and space for yoga. And as you do that, perhaps you can feel a gentle easing of the weight of responsibility on your shoulders, or a letting go of some of those worries that have weighed on your mind. For the next hour together, we're carving out a little bit of quiet. We're cultivating a sense of calm. Notice how your body feels in this moment. Any areas of aches or pains or tension, stiffness. Remember to work gently, kindly with those areas throughout the practice. Also noticing at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. Allow that sense of ease to ripple out from wherever it's centered, perhaps softening the forehead, relaxing the shoulders, the jaw, allowing the body to feel very present, very grounded here and now. Move your awareness to your breath and just noticing your breath, the natural flow in and out. Notice the pattern of your breath, the sensation of your breath. And when you feel ready, you can begin to gently deepen the breath. As you breathe in, let that breath fill the lungs. And as you breathe out, gently engaging across your navel to exhale fully. Soft in the belly, breathe gently in and let the breath guide you to length. Feel tall with your breath. As you breathe out, softening your shoulders and gently engaging across the navel to exhale fully. Soft belly to breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. Long, steady breath out, engaging to exhale fully. Soft belly to breathe into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Long, slow, steady breath out. Doing two more of these in your own time. as we charge the body with prana and prepare for our practice together. At the end of your next exhalation, just gently drawing your chin towards your chest, feeling that sense of length down the back of the neck, across the shoulder blades. We're going to smile gently to ourselves and then raise the head and open the eyes. Rolling your shoulders when you're ready. Just a few gentle rolls in this direction and the other direction. And then we're going to do a sort of pre-practice exploration. So coming to sitting as you are, just gently turning your head from one side to the other, noticing where you feel perhaps a sense of resistance or stiffness, maybe 1 or 2 times in each direction. And then in the center, little ear to shoulder, same thing, just noticing if there's any areas of resistance or stiffness, tightness, or discomfort. And then as you come back to center, for those of you who've got a spiky ball, you can reach for your spiky ball. But if you don't need one for this practice at all. We can make our hands into a little claw, and with the fingertips, we can do what a spiky ball would do. We can stimulate where we're going to stimulate with this. I'm going to come a little bit closer to the camera so that you can see. Hopefully that's not too imposing. But I'm taking either my clawed hand or my spiky ball. I'm going to start by rolling across this space just underneath the collarbone. So I don't want to roll over the collarbone. I don't want to stimulate with the fingertips over the collarbone. I want to choose those softer spaces where we've got soft tissue that we can really activate and enliven with our spiky balls, with our tactile touch. So it's just a little in and out from center to the outside of the body. And then we can try taking this up to the space above the collarbone. So either with the claws or with the spiky ball, just rolling across the top of the shoulder, those spongier, softer places where we've got lots of muscular tissue. You might even roll really gently into the side of the neck, but not pressing hard on the side of the neck. And then you can try coming around the head of the shoulder, so that chunkier bit at the top of the arm where we've got some, again, really nice soft tissue there. So we're just rolling all the way around, or using the claw of your hand just to stimulate with a little pressing and rotating movement. For those who feel that they would manage it, you can support your left arm with the right hand to reach behind the body. So don't do that if it feels like a strain, but if you can easily reach with your ball behind the body, we can get to that large muscle called the trapezius muscle just behind here, the back of the shoulder, back of the neck, the upper back, just giving that a little bit of action. And if you can't easily manage to reach there, that's okay. You can take your ball and place it against a wall and lean on it. And then the ball goes to the places that you can't reach. But for that, you do need a ball. You can't put your hand behind you and lean on it. So just doing a little so that when you release now, you can feel the warmth in your left hand that has done the holding of the ball, whichever hand it was. And you can feel that sense of aliveness and vibration and energy sparkling into that side of the body. We'll swap sides. So we do the same thing on the other side, either with your clawed fist across that space just underneath the collarbone, or with the spiky ball, rolling all the way around. And we are not just having an effect on our muscles, but also on our lymphatic system and also on blood flow, like circulatory system. And so it's quite nice, and fascia as well. So we're just making those lovely sweeping movements or circular movements. And then you can take the ball to the top of the shoulder, or with your hand, if you're using your hand, And you might like to very gently work into the side of the neck, but again, really gentle there. Just finding that, those perfect spots. There'll be some spots that are a bit more sensitive or feel a bit more tickly or something like this. And it's okay to work a bit more of those spots. And then try that head of the shoulder, that really chunky bit of muscle. It's actually several muscles here at the front of the shoulder, and we're going to do things with those muscles today. So top of the arm, head of the shoulder, and then if you'd like to, you can support the right elbow so that you can reach behind you to get to that large trapezius muscle. Again, it's really not just that muscle, there are other muscles as well. But this is one of the largest muscles in the body, and it's also one of the most commonly strained muscles. And if you can't manage to reach there, either with your hand for a little bit of self-massage or with the ball, you can take your ball to the wall and just press your body into the ball against the wall. There's far too much rhyming going on here, which is just a really nice way to get into those nooks and crannies that are harder to reach with your arms. When you've done a little bit of that to either side, we're going to put the balls out of the way, somewhere where they won't cause any distress, where you won't step on them by mistake, and then give ourselves a moment just to feel the effect of our practice so far. So that feeling of perhaps a little bit more malleability, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of stimulation. And when you're ready, you can just gently roll your shoulders. And we'll go the opposite way as well. And we're going to come back to center to find our way into those neck movements. So sitting tall, just turning the head and noticing if it feels a little bit easier to turn the head from side to side. And I'm really hoping that you feel that it does. And then we can come back to the center and do that head tilting. And again, perhaps you are more aware of some resistance, or perhaps it just feels a little bit released and easier. We're going to finish this by bringing the chin towards the chest, giving ourselves a soft smile, and then when you're ready, gently lengthening back upwards, maybe lifting the chin a little bit forwards and up, bottom teeth over top teeth. And gently releasing down. Again, relaxing the jaw, rolling the shoulders, maybe one at a time. Little rolls in one direction and then the other. Very good. So there's a set of practices that we have done many times in the past called Palmukta asanas, energy releasing postures. And we're going to do these for our upper bodies. And then we're going to do some little slightly spicier versions, which are not really Palmukta asanas, but actually strengthening movements. So we're going to start with the arms out in front of the body. And we've got the fingers spread. And you don't need to have the arms lifted high. They can be low down if that suits your shoulders better. But if you can get them about chest height, that's perfect. We're going to spread the fingers as we inhale. And as we exhale, thumbs into palms and wrapping the rest of the fingers around. And again, let me come a little bit closer. So we're spreading as we inhale and thumbs into palms, wrapping the fingers around as we exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Excellent. We're just going to relax the hands here. Let them be nice and fluffy. And we're going to breathe in as we bring the hands all the way up, fingertips up, and breathe out as we go all the way down. And you can move to the point where you are pressing the heels away from you and then turn the fingertips to really reach for the arm underneath as well. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Allow your elbows to be softened, perhaps. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out. And here we're going to relax the arms down to the side, give the shoulders a little roll, make any other movements that feel good. You can do a little light shrugging, which is quite nice as well. Aces. So here, interlacing the fingers, keeping the elbows close to the body. If interlacing your fingers doesn't feel good, just wrap one hand around the other and do the same thing here. But interlacing the fingers is quite nice. We get that sense of space between the fingers and we can roll the wrists. You don't need to do anything fast. You can do it nice and slowly. And we're making a kind of figure of 8 motion with the hands here, whilst we keep the elbows close to the sides. So this is very different if you do it with your elbows all flopping around. So we're trying to keep the elbows close to the sides of the body, just moving from the wrist ring. Let's go the opposite way as well. Changing direction is often quite a little bit of mental gymnastics. It's quite good for us to do those mental gymnastics every once in a while. And then we can change the interlace of the fingers. So when I interlace my fingers, naturally, I've got my right thumb on top of my left, and when I interlace them the opposite way around, opposite thumb on top. And then the same thing, just making those figure of 8s, and then going the opposite way. And it's quite nice to do things the opposite way for balance, not just in the cross of the fingers, but also in the rotations that we make. And then we are going to just shake out the hands and make some wrist circles. So here we've got the fingers relaxed, they're quite long. You can go the opposite way as well, always the opposite way as well. And then we can take the thumbs and wrap the fingers around and then make those wrist circles. And that feels so differently across the wrist, across the hand, into the forearm, and going the other way as well. Very good. So I'm going to sit back down again. And hopefully you're still sitting comfortably. So we're going to now reach the arms away from us and draw the fingertips back towards the shoulders, reaching the arms away and fingertips back towards the shoulders. Here we want the shoulders to be nice and relaxed. We breathe in as we lengthen the arms. Breathe out as we bring the fingertips back to the shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out. Trying not to let the shoulders lift. Breathing in. Breathing out, we'll do one more. Breathing in and breathing out. And here we're going to let the elbows come down. Just rest the arms to the sides for a moment. Give a little roll of the shoulders. Perhaps a little swing of the arms. Excuse me. Very good. So we're going to do that same motion, but with the arms out to the side. So as you reach your arms long, draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Feel your shoulders settle back and down. And then breathing in this position. Breathing out, fingertips to shoulders. Breathing in, it doesn't matter if it's the other way around. There's no like completely correct right or wrong way. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing is the important bit. Breathing in. Breathing out. We'll do just one more. Breathing in, breathing out, and then leaving the fingertips here, let your breath find its natural rhythm, and we'll just make some elbow circles. And it doesn't matter what these look like, just looking for some movement and perhaps beginning to work into a bigger movement. So eventually aiming towards bringing the elbows together in front of the body and drawing the elbows behind the body to move the shoulder blades together as the elbows go back and down. Let's do one more in this direction. And then as ever, we're swapping direction. We can start small and then move a little bigger every time. There's no strain, there's no force. We don't have to get anywhere in particular, but we can begin to draw the elbows back and then draw the elbows together as they come forward. Really feeling the whole movement through the upper back and chest. One more here, and then relaxing the arms down, just giving the shoulders a little jiggle and perhaps giving the arms a little swing as well. Super stuff. And then we're going to rest our arms here. We want to find a nice solid seat on our seat. So we tend to perch towards the front when we're doing breathing and things, but now I want a really good amount of my seat on my seat. And here we're going to let the hands rest onto the thighs themselves. And as we breathe in, we're going to sit tall. And as we breathe out, slide the hands down towards the knees as you round the spine backwards and chin to chest. Breathing in as you draw forward and up, maybe drawing the elbows back to open the chest. Breathing out as you round through the spine. Press into the feet, into the floor with the feet, sorry. Breathing in to open the chest. Breathing out to round through the spine. Breathing in to open the chest. Breathing out to round through the spine. We'll do just one more. Breathing in. Breathing out. And we're going to finish by breathing in to be tall. And then just resting in place as we let the breath find its natural rhythm. So our next movement is going to be a little twist. We've done nice backwards and forwards. We're going to either reach the arms nice and wide or fingertips to the shoulders, whatever feels good. We're pressing into the feet, we're lifting the crown of the head up, and we're just gently going to twist one way and then the other. We're pressing into the feet, so we don't want to move in the low body really very much at all. So it shouldn't be like a sliding of the knees backwards and forwards. The lower body should be nice and steady and supportive as we twist in one direction and then the other. Gentle lift in the belly muscles. And then coming back to center, just resting the arms down, giving a little roll of the shoulders, a shimmer, anything that feels good to release. And so we're going to step that twisting up a little notch. So we're going to reach the arms wide and then twist to the right as we reach the left arm across the body, right arm behind us slightly. Come back to the center and then twist to the left. So we're just hitting the center with that gentle lift of the arms and then we twist. We're not forcing or pulling. It's just a natural movement of the arms, perhaps slightly helping us a little bit further into those twists than we can go when we have no help from the arms. Let's do one more to each side. And then coming back to the center, floating the arms down to the side, giving a wriggle of the shoulders, a little shimmer of anything that feels like it needs a shimmer. And then our final movement here in our seated pose before we begin our big practice is side bending. So I've got lovely side bits of my chair here. I can slide my arm down and up again. So it provides a little bit of support. If you don't have anything to slide your arm against, don't worry. Simply rest your hands onto your hips so that you can provide a little bit of extra focus on this centered part. Lift in the belly, drawing the elbows back to open the chest. Not overly, but enough to feel that you've got length. And then one more to the left. And we'll relax the arms down, give a little roll through the shoulders. Aces. So we are going to use our stretchy bands now. And our stretchy bands are great for all sorts of things. So we're going to start with a little bit of punching, which I do enjoy. So wrapping the band, around your upper back, underneath the arms. So from behind, it stretches across the upper back, and in front of the body, I'm standing up just so I can show you a little bit closer. I'm going to wrap the belt, this stretchy band, around my hands so that I've got a nice fist position and my elbows are close to my body. So standing or sitting, as you choose. If you're standing a little soft in the knees, if you're sitting thinking about pressing your feet into the floor, want a little bit of effort in the belly muscles and drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. In this position, our band should be taut, but not super tight. And we've got the palms facing each other with them wrapped in the band. And we're going to first begin by pressing one hand forwards and backwards, and then the other. So these palms are still facing towards each other as we lengthen one hand forwards, or one arm, sorry, forwards, and then the other. And we're just finding our way with our resistance. So making sure it's not too tight, that you feel like you could do this with relative ease, maybe a little bit of effort, not too much. One more to each side. And then just relaxing the arms for a moment, giving yourself a little shimmer, maybe a roll through the shoulders. And if you need to, relaxing your hands from your band. If it's been wrapped tightly around your hands, you might need to give them a little rub or a little shake. And we can come back to a very similar position. I quite like my band to be flat against my back, so I'd spend some time getting it in that position because it feels a bit more comfortable. And we can do the same thing, but with a little different shape of the hand. So we're going to start with the palms facing each other, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other. But as we punch forward, we're going to turn the palm down. So the palm faces down, and then as we come back to center, the palm faces the same way as it did when it started. So right hand, palm faces left. As we punch forward, palm faces down. And as we bring that arm back, we've got palms facing each other. So there's this rotation through the arm as we extend and retract. And as we do this, we're going to think about drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, little lift in the belly muscles, pressing the feet into the floor. And we don't have to punch up. We only need to punch forward. So twisting and twisting on release as well. Lengthening forwards, lengthening backwards, feeling the resistance of the band as we go. Really, if it helps, you can think of something you'd really like to batter, or possibly someone if you've got a bit of anger inside. This is a very healthy way to get rid of that anger, or to channel it into something effortful for the body, something that really is going to make you feel stronger. Lovely. One more to each side. And then just relaxing. We can wear our bands like a little scarf while we shake out the arms, wriggle in the shoulders, just generally make any movements that feel good. So because we've done something that's quite strong, and it feels quite strong, we can do something quite soft with our fingers or with our hands. So you can make movements like wafty. Imagine you are Will-o'-the-Wisp and you're making wafty hands like Will-o'-the-Wisp used to be on the telly. Oh, it takes me back, takes me back. Okay, and then when we've done that, we're going to do a different motion. So we've done a pushing motion. We're going to do a pulling motion now. So this is, it's also quite good fun, and I will do it standing up as well, just so I'm close enough for you guys to see. So we're going to start with the band out in front of the chest, and the band is taut, but not super tight. And we're going to draw the elbows back towards the body as we bring the band back towards us and broaden it so the elbows come back to open the chest, and then we're reaching forward. So pulling back to open the chest and then reaching forward. Palms are turned down this time. So different orientation for the arms. And we want to feel that we've got effort into the band all the way forwards and backwards. Let's do one more. And then we're going to give ourselves just a little bit more length. We're going to leave the left hand forward and we're going to pull the right hand backwards and forward. So the left hand stabilizes as we make this movement with the right. And you don't have to have the arms particularly lifted. So if you want to do it lower down, you can. And we're going to do one more on this side. Excellent. And then same thing on the other side. Pulling back with that left arm, drawing the elbow back behind the body. If you can, leaving the band taut. I didn't on that first one, but leaving the band taut all the time. So there's effort to keep the band in place. And that right arm is all of its effort for stabilizing. Just one more. Very good. And now we've got the band a little wider. We can do both arms again, forwards and backwards. Just pulling the elbows behind the body, using the upper back, using the effort of the chest as well, but using the upper back, using the backs of the arms. We're going to do one more after this one. And then we're going to wear that band like a little accessory, roll through the shoulders, wiggle anything that needs wiggling. And then I'm actually going to put this down to one side, sit down for a moment so that I can join you in rolling the shoulders and maybe swinging the arms backwards and forwards. And you can do it opposite arms, or you can do it same arms together. Both together at the same time, same arms together. Like we've got multiple sets of arms. And the other thing that we can do, which is quite nice here, is to reach the arms wide and then wrap them around the body, maybe tuck the chin to the chest, and then reach the arms wide and wrap the opposite way. And if we do this a few times, we can alternate the position of the arms. Just taking a moment to feel our way. And then resting the arms down to the side, giving the arms a little wriggle, the shoulders a little wriggle, and we'll give our arms, hands, and shoulders a little rest to take our awareness down to our feet. So focusing on your feet, we're going to lift the heel of one foot and the toes of the other, and then go to the other side. So we're alternating forwards and backwards. And this is sometimes a little bit of a feat of coordination. No pun intended. Actually, every pun intended. But if it feels like too much to coordinate, just do both feet, toes up and heels up at the same time. So it's the same sort of effect, but it's not quite the stimulation across the two hemispheres of the brain that we get when we do something called cross crawl. So doing the opposite thing with the other side of the body. And as I'm doing that, I'm just checking that I am doing alternate and not the same thing at the same time. It's quite hard unless you're concentrating. Very good. Resting both feet down. We're going to bring the feet all the way together and then try coming up onto our toes to take the heels coming onto the heels to take the toes out, and just scissoring the feet wider and wider apart and then coming back the way. Coming together, 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 together. Okay, so in and out. Lovely job. And out and in. Lovely job. Let's do one more. And this is really good for strengthening our ankles, and it's and our feet and our legs, in fact. But it's a really good way to help us combat the fear of falling. I think rather than falling itself, feeling steady on our feet is just one of those things that is great to maintain for as long as possible. Let us sit back into our chairs so that our feet are free from the floor. I'm going to turn myself ever so slightly sideways, and then we can just gently kick the legs. Now, if you're short like me, sitting back in your seat will mean that your feet don't have any danger of touching the floor. But if you're taller, you can sit yourself up on a block or a cushion to give yourself a little bit more space. And then when you're ready, you can bring both feet up in front, pointing the toes, and draw both heels back underneath the body, flexing the feet. Both toes pointing forwards, lengthening the legs, heels back towards the body, flexing the feet. And we're just moving these are Palmukta-asanas, of course, for the opposite end of the body. Slightly adapted for being in the chair. And we're going to do one more, all the way forwards, all the way back. Very nice. Okay, so I want to come back to working with the arms, and we're going to use whatever handheld item we have. So it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's weights like these or perhaps a couple of books or a couple of tins. If you prefer to work without anything at all, that is also fine. It won't make any difference. So we are going to start sitting tall, pressing the feet into the floor, rolling the shoulder blades back and down, and bringing the handheld fists to our shoulders. And if I turn slightly sideways, it's maybe easier to see. So here, we want to feel that we're stabilizing in the upper back by drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, elbows quite close to the body. And we're going to begin by punching the hands forwards and backwards, or lengthening the arms forwards and backwards. So it's the same sort of thing. We want to keep a little softness across our elbows, so you don't need to lock your elbows straight as you go forwards and backwards. Palms face each other at the moment. Nice and firm in the belly. Let's do one more to each side. And then we're going to do turning the palms as we punch forward. So as we punch forward, the palm turns down, and then the arm rotates back to center. Palm turns down, arm rotates back to center. Palm turns down, arm rotates so it faces the other palm. Palm turns down, palm rotates. So we're doing this one side and then the other. Very good. If you feel that it's too much with your weights at any stage, you can place them down and just do this with no weights. And we do one more to each side. And then we're going to relax the weights, whatever we're holding down somewhere. Mine rest quite happily here on my thighs, but you can rest them down to the floor if you like, and just give the shoulders a little roll. Basis. So now we're going to move the legs and the arms at the same time. So what we're actually going to do is kick forwards with one leg as we reach forwards with one arm. So I'll leave it up to you. If you want to rotate as you punch, you can. If you prefer not to, if you prefer to keep the palms facing downwards or facing each other, sorry, that is fine too. We're trying to do this from a place of center where we've got nice firm belly muscles working, that space between the shoulder blades is working, and it feels really strong as we press the standing foot into the floor. Let's do one more to each side. And it's opposite arm and leg. I maybe didn't say that, but I meant to. There we are, reaching down. To be honest, you could do it the same arm and leg if you want to. It stimulates things in a slightly different way, but it's not completely invalid because you've done the same arm and leg. We're going to roll through the shoulders, just give a movement through the upper body so that we get nice softness through the arms, the fingers, the hands, the shoulders, the neck, the upper back, and the chest. Brilliant. So we're going to now take our weights to wherever feels comfortable. I'm just going to rest mine onto my chair and come back to our stretchy bands. And here with our stretchy bands, we're going to take the arms up to wherever up feels good. In fact, we can do a little bit of up and down first. So bringing the arms up just wider than the body, a little taut in the band, we can raise the arms up and just find where feels good and then lower down again. We do this a couple of times so we can find our way gradually to that point that feels like the range of movement that we have easily available today. So we're not forcing or straining or pushing, we're just getting to here. And once we're there, we're going to lift the shoulders up And then draw the shoulders down. Find that press into the feet that feels really good. And then we're going to stabilize with the left hand, stays where it is as the right arm pulls down to the side. And then we'll just do the same side. So if we keep going with just this right arm doing the pulling down, and you can use a little bit more room on the band if you need it, or not, as the case may be. A little soft across the elbows, last one on this side. And then we can do the opposite side. So if you do need to rest with both arms down, take that opportunity. A little firm across the belly for those of you who are keeping working. Just a touch of softness across the elbows. You'll notice that the arm is the only thing that's moving. The rest of the body is stabilizing, it's strong and it's steady. And I can't remember how many we've done, so we'll do one more. Usually that means we've done one extra, but it's not a problem. Relaxing the arms down, rolling through the shoulders, maybe a gentle wriggle through the hands and the fingers. Very good. So we can do a little similar kind of movement, but with a bit of a twist. So we're going to bring the arms in front of us, reach up, and then here we're pressing into the feet, and we're going to bring the arms down on one side of the body. We're keeping the belt taut, maybe pulling ever so slightly wider apart as we come down, twist back to center, and then twisting to the opposite side. Center of the body nice and still. We're doing this lovely up and down. It's almost like an arc around the body. Arms nice and long, belt nice and taut. One more to each side. Very good. And then we can do this with our legs moving as well. So if anyone wants to keep going with just the arms, they can. As we twist to one side, we're going to lift that knee. So the side we're going towards, twisting to the right, lift the right knee, and then come back to the center, both feet down, twist to the left, lift the left knee. Back to center. Twist to the right, lifting the right knee. Back to center. Twist to the left, lifting the left knee. Nice and firm across the belly muscles, a little soft across the elbows, firm and lengthened in every other direction. One more to the left. Back to the center, and just relaxing the arms down, rolling through the shoulders. It's much tougher than it looks, and it has stimulated all of the muscles in the arms, as well as the upper back, shoulders, chest. It's all good stuff. Center of the body as well. You'll be pleased to know that's the last thing we're doing with belts today. So I'm going to pop that to one side, but unfortunately we do have no, I'm just joking. We do have something left to do with our weights. So with our weights, we're going to do a little bit of side bending. And you have the option to do this standing or sitting. But if you enjoy a bit of standing practice, then we can do a little bit of standing to finish. So coming up to standing, for those who feel comfortable doing that, we're going to have the weights in either hand, standing tall, a little soft in the knees, and just a gentle tilt one side and then the other. So we really want that lift in the belly muscles. We want the shoulder blades to be moving towards each other. And it's just that gliding side bending that we did earlier, sitting down, but now we're standing and we've got the weights in our hands as well. If you don't have weights, don't worry about this. You can just keep going. But if you do have weights, you have the option this time of coming up, placing both weights into one hand, and then just doing that side. So if you've got your weights in your left hand, you bend to the left, back to center, maybe a little tilt to the opposite side, mostly bending to the left, back to center, little tilts. And we'll do one more. And then we're going to bring the weights into the opposite hand. Doesn't really matter how you hold them as long as it feels comfortable. And with weights in the right hand, we bend to the right, back to center, little tilt to the opposite side, bend to the right, back to center, little tilt. And last one, bend to the right, back to center, little tilt, and return. So now you'll be pleased to know that we're finished with weights for the day. We can pop them down. We're winding ourselves back into our seats for relaxation, but before we do, we might like a little bit of chair downward dog. Just because we're upstanding, and we may as well take the opportunity, and it'll help us to lengthen out everything that we have used today. So hands on the back of your seat, walking your feet away, nice and soft in the knees. Think about lengthening your tailbone back behind your heels. So you don't want to be leaning towards your chair because your feet are too far away. And then pressing the hands into your chair, just giving the hips a little sway from side to side, nice soft knees, lift in the belly muscles. You can even turn your head from side to side if it feels good. And this should feel like a really nice thing to do for the body. So if it doesn't feel like this is good, you might choose to move in a different way. When you're ready, you can come to center, walking all the way up to your chair. We're going to leave our hands on the back of our chair and turn the hips to the left to begin with. So the hands stay where they are, the hips turn, and you can turn your feet and your hips as far as feels comfortable with the hands on the chair. And we're kind of resisting that turn. And you can even look back towards the chair if you want to, or you can look forwards. A little lift in the belly muscles as you go, softening the shoulders. So try not to lift your shoulders up. Softening the shoulders, deep breath in and out. And then walking the feet back to center. Take a moment in the center, just establish your grip on the chair and then walk your feet to the right. And you can walk as far around to the right as your feet and hips and back will allow, and then try looking back towards the chair or just a neutral neck if you prefer. Soften the shoulders down, maybe draw the elbows towards the body a little lift in the belly muscles. Nice deep breath in and out. When you're ready, you can gently unwind back to the center and then releasing the chair, giving your hips and shoulders a little wriggle, and we will make our way to sitting for relaxation. We're going to do one more gentle stretch before we actually get into relaxation proper. But gather the things that you need for that. So if you've got an extra layer to put on, I thoroughly recommend it. It's actually, whilst it is now coming to the middle of June, it's a very grey and overcast day here. I think that's why I chose to wear grey, actually, because sometimes our outfits reflect the weather, don't they? So I'm going to wrap myself up because I'm feeling a little bit chilly. So you can sit as far back in your chair as feels comfortable, but before we close the eyes and get settled, we're going to cross the left arm over the right arm and hug our shoulders for a moment. Let the weight of the arms be heavy onto the chest and maybe just take the chin gently down. Give yourself a couple of deeper breaths here. Your eyes can be closed if you'd like to. And then when you're ready, you can open the arms, lifting the head, cross the right arm over the left arm, or the opposite way if you were muddled the first time. Heavy arms onto the chest, chin perhaps towards chest. A couple of deeper breaths. And we're just feeling that space that's worked so hard, having a little bit of soften and release. When you're ready, you can raise your head, relax your arms, give any final wiggles, any head movements that are needed. And then organize yourself towards center. Relax back into your chair back, or if you have the opportunity, recline in bed or on a sofa for sure. Nice soft support. We are going to find our way to center and then close the eyes and bring the body to stillness. Notice in this moment the effect of your practice, the sensations in the body of effort and warmth and strength and length. Then take a deep breath in and sigh gently out through the mouth. A deep breath in, and then just allowing your muscles to begin to soften. A deep breath in and release the effort of your practice. And one last deep breath in, surrendering back and down into the chair and the floor. Allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm, falling into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften. That space between the eyebrows separating, spreading. The area around your eyes releasing. Your mouth, tongue, and jaw relaxing. Take your awareness to the top of your head. And imagine that sensation of softness and relaxation starting at the top of your head and trickling down across the sides of the head, the back of the head, the face, the neck and throat. Feel that sensation of heaviness, of softness, trickling over the shoulders, into the arms, elbows, into the wrists, hands and fingers, the head, neck, shoulders and arms, all feeling heavy, softening, relaxing down. Feel that sense of softness trickling over the chest and the upper back, down the sides of the body, across the rib cage, the waist, the low back, the abdomen, allowing the whole of the torso to feel heavy, softening and relaxing back and down. Allow that sense of softness to come into the hips, into the pelvis. Find that sense of heaviness in the legs, knees, softening through the ankles, the feet and the toes. The hips and legs feeling heavy, softening and relaxing down. The whole body softening and relaxing just a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet, moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, you can take a deep breath and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe lengthening one side and the other, maybe to stretch the face. You might like to bend one knee into your chest at a time, just round slightly forward, chin to chest. And when you're ready, you can gather yourself at the front of your seat, just resting your palms together, either at the center of the chest or on top of each other on the chest. Take your chin gently downwards. Today we have found strength in parts of the body that sometimes perhaps don't feel all that strong, or that we haven't noticed are that strong. So knowing that we are in fact strong there, we can feel that inner sense of strength throughout the week. Give ourselves a soft smile, and when we're ready, raising the head and opening the eyes. I hope you've enjoyed this practice, and I look forward to seeing you for the next one. Namaste.